Hello, my name is David. Welcome back to my channel, and today is the video that I'm excited for. I have spent part of the morning reading several short stories and the introduction of Harlan Ellison's Angry Candy, and this guy can write. I read Paladin of Lost Souls, which you can find online on his website, and read it for free online, and it's fantastic. Lengthy, about 25, 26 pages in here. Uh, and the other two stories I've read out of here are not nearly as long. But all three have been absolutely fascinating, and I plan on reading several more today because I'm just absolutely enjoying Harlan Ellison. And I read the introduction as well this morning and had a hard time putting it down, reminiscing on different people who he'd known, and what tied this all together is the so much death that has surrounded him. He's known a lot of people that have passed away, and his reaction to death is not one of grief and loss, but one of anger that they are gone, that this person that he knew he loved is no longer there. And it was, according to him, he had turned in 16 stories, realized that they had a thread that kind of wove through them. They all involved death in some way, shape, or form. So he wrote one more to top off the collection, and that is Angry Candy. So it has death as an underlying theme in big ways and small. And I've seen that through the three stories. The last of them that I just read is 2 pages long, but really, really enjoyable. So let me know if you read any Harlan Ellison today. As a reminder, the one I strongly, strongly recommend if you've never read anything by Harlan Ellison is Repent Harlequin, Said the TikTok Man. Fantastic story. And then we have a book haul. So I received 2 different packages so far from different booktubers who they didn't have to do that. So I'm going to be thanking them profusely here, showing what they sent me. And then I had one final book haul before June 1st that arrived since the beginning of the month. And part of it is because of Garb-August. One volume in here in particular I have in mind to read for Garb-August. So first we have, I got a package, started off the festivities on Sunday from Juan from Plagued with Visions. And he sent me a copy of this, so nice paperback of Tolkien's Beowulf. So translation and commentary, also includes Select's Spell. I've read this previously, but it's been many, many years, and I no longer owned a copy. And so this was certainly the copy of Beowulf that was the biggest omission from my shelf, and I wanted to make sure I got a copy, and so I thank you, Juan, for doing that. I'm deeply appreciative of that. And then yesterday, I had a package show up. It had 4 books in it, and it came from a good friend of mine, Scott Danielson, who used to do the BookTube thing and still very much does a podcast thing, and has a blog and everything where he does some writing, and on occasion he makes the occasional video. But really, really great guy. And if you have any interest in older science fiction, he has got an immense well of knowledge, and I've just really enjoyed chatting with him about various books. I read Dayworld. Yeah, Dayworld by Philip Jose Farmer with him earlier this year, and had a blast doing so. And so the 4 books that he sent me. So we have Endymion. Yeah, Endymion. That's how I'll go with that. By Dan Simmons. So you can see there's the Shrike. So this is the 3rd book in the Hyperion Cantos. And of course, it also has the 4th book in the Hyperion Cantos to bring it all to an end. The triumphant conclusion. And the Shrike is still there. And then we have one that I'm really excited about. in my graphic novel book haul that I had a month or two ago, I got what ended up being, I think, like books 8 and 9 in the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser series. So, Swords and Deviltry is book 1 in that series by Fritz Leiber, and I am so excited to read this one. It's a very short volume. I'm sure somebody could read it in an afternoon. I don't usually have that much dedicated time to sit down and read, but I would love to try. And I'm so excited to read this one. And then last but certainly not least, I got a Ray Bradbury book, which is going to help me read every book by Ray Bradbury. I have not done very well this year at keeping that going, but I am slowly working through Golden Apples of the Sun right now. And my plan is, after June, I have a very packed June, I'm going to roll into July. And I've got 2 plans for July. One, to read my allotment for the BookTube Prize, because I felt that I should throw my hat in the ring and judge, even though I no longer was excited about it. And so I got assigned some books for translated fiction that I'm going to be reading. And then I want to read the books that I've gotten here in this book haul from my good friends. And that also will include The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. Again, nice little short one. This is a Bradbury that a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for, and I've never read it. So my plan in July is to start chipping away through this stack, which also would include finishing book 2 in the Hyperion Cantos to be able to go to books 3 and 4. So that's my July/August plan. And then we have the stuff that I had ordered for myself. These were sold in pairs, and so since I had won one, I figured I might as well toss out the minimum bid on the others so that it'd be combined shipping and make it easier. I'm going to show the one that I won first last, but the seller had a couple more pairs that they were selling. So this is the Best Science Fiction of the Year, number 13, edited by Terry Carr. So I haven't even looked at what's inside of these, but it's an anthology. So we've got Frederick Pohl, we've got some Greg Bear, Robert Silverberg, some Terry Carr in here. So we've got some great ones, and let's see if I can tell what year this was. So it looks like 1983 would be the year. So the year's best science fiction of 1983. Paired with that, we had The Endless Frontiers, edited by Jerry Pournelle, with John F. Carr, Volume 2. So stories and articles about man's greatest challenge. So let's look and see what we've got in here. This is quite the thick one. So we've got some Jerry Pournelle, some Dean Ing. We've got Robert Silverberg, Poul Anderson, got some John Carr. So, good chunk of fiction in there. The next pairing, we have Alternities, edited by David Gerrold. So all new electrifying stories of original science fiction. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got Jack Haldeman II, we've got Greg Bear, we've got Vonda McIntyre, Stephen Newtley, well, a bunch of names I'm not as familiar with, but this is a really short volume. It says it's another nova of superb new young writers unfettered by strictures and taboos who probe the forbidden plumb, the farthest reaches of inner and outer space, and soar to mind-searing heights in an extraordinary collection of never-before-published speculative fiction. And then, coming with that, we had Tomorrow the Stars, edited and with an introduction by Robert Heinlein. So, we got some short story anthologies. I'm very excited about short story anthologies lately. This has got C.M. Kornbluth, Kurt Vonnegut, Lester Del Rey, Murray Leinster, Isaac Asimov, Fritz Leiber. So that's going to be a fun one to get into. And then the other pairing here, we have Other Dimensions, edited by Robert Silverberg. It'll be fun seeing some of these as editors in there too. So we've got a Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke, Terry Carr, Robert Silverberg, Alfred Bester, all in this one. So that's got some great name power in there. And then Orbit 4, edited by Damon Knight. So this is my second of the Orbit books that I have. It's got Harlan Ellison in here. Hey, I've got another Harlan Ellison that I can read. Shattered Like a Glass Goblin. That's a really interesting title. It's got some Silverberg, Werner Vinge. So not a ton of stories in here, but I'm excited about that, especially the Ellison in there. And then the one that I had won first. And I just had to put a bid on it because it was going for $2. And I couldn't pass that up. This is For the Witch of the Mists. And so you can see there, Robert E. Howard's Bran Mak Morn wages war and wizardry. So this is by David C. Smith and Richard Tierney. And so in my experience, somebody taking over a popular name, a character, whatever the case may be, world, tends to not be as good as the original. There are exceptions, of course. But I figured that this is a perfect Garbaggus pick, even if it turns out to be excellent, which I hope it is. I really, really enjoy Bran Mak Morn. And so I'm excited to dive into this one. I'm curious, Michael, have you read this? If not, after I finish reading it, I'm going to send it your way. So I'll be reading this in August. And if you've never read it, it's coming your way. So there you have it. There's my birthday haul. My last pre-book ban. As a reminder, I'm going to try to go as long as I can without buying books. The goal is a year. We'll see how long I make it. I can make one purchase a quarter. So I can buy a quarterly book. And so I'll want to be very intentional about which book I buy. Obviously, gifts are still welcome. I don't turn those away. In fact, I get extremely excited for them. But there's no pressure to do so. I'll have an ongoing kind of cultivate my top of the list of what I'm considering, which is where Juan and Scott both noticed that and ordered something off of it. And thank you again to both of you. I'm excited. Let me know what you've read from Harlan Ellison today. If you're reading along and reading anything by Harlan Ellison, I'd love to hear what you've read and what you thought of it. So have a great day, Book 2.